Okay, last but not least for the day, probably the most interesting topic: studs versus femmes, and which attracts me more and why. Okay, so I'm gonna have to somewhat agree on what Tiara had to say about this. What attracts me to a stud? Of course, I love, personality. You have to be a person that I can get along with, and that we can be around each other, without being irritated. I know that sometimes you're going to get irritated, things like that, but there are certain things that really irritate me. And if you're someone who does that, whether you're stud or femme, yeah, no. But overall, me personally, I am more attracted to studs than I am femmes. Excuse me. I have never dated a femme, never talked to a femme, nothing like that. Um, why? Because I've not come across a femme that has caught my eye or caught my attention um in that sort of way. I've had femme friends and I have femme friends, but as far as dating them, I've never come across a femme that attracted me in that way. Um Studs, yeah. I just love studs in general. Um I'm not really picky as far as, what kind of stud I date. Um I just love studs. Studs to me are just sexy, all around sexy. The swag, the look, everything. I would say that I've come across some studs that would look bomb, like, oh my god, just fall in love, drop dead gorgeous from a femme's point of view. And comes down to it that their personality was nothing like their looks. So to me, looks are not really a major thing, but it is, somewhat something that can attract me, because if I just see you, if I'm attracted to you physically, of course I'm gonna, pursue something with you, versus being someone that I'm not so much as physically attracted to, but it has to be a personality thing. So studs to me have a dominancy that I like. um Not saying that I'm very submissive, because I would say that I have that dominant attitude as well. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes I have that attitude. But I like the dominancy of studs. I like a stud to somewhat take that role. Um, I wouldn't say as a man, but as the controller, so to speak. That's just something that I like. I'm very independent, so I don't expect anybody to take care of me. Stud, them, if I decide to get with a guy, which I doubt will happen, but if I ever did, I would never expect anyone to take care of me unless it was out of my league. If it was something, whereas if I was sick or something like that, then, okay. But I don't get with studs because I want a stud to take care of me. I am just physically attracted to studs. Um, I love the swag of studs. I love the attitude that studs have. I pretty much love everything about studs. Um, as far as femmes go, like Tiara said, I can see a femme and I can say, oh, she's cute, she's sexy, she's this, she's that, she has a nice body and everything, but I just can't see myself dating a femme because I feel like I'm too girly to date a femme. And I don't know how it would be to go out with my girlfriend and, like Kiera said, have my girlfriend want to wear my makeup or wants to put on my heels or my dress. I just can't see myself doing that. So, me personally, I have nothing against dating a femme. And if I came across a femme that attracted me in that way, then I probably would date her. Or even if I had a femme that had that dominancy attitude that most studs carry, I probably would date her. It's more of an attitude thing for me. As far as like personality wise, most of the studs that I've came across have had this personality that just pulls you in. And if I came across a femme that had the attitude of a stud, but dressed and act as a femme, I probably would date her because in the long run, she would still, to me, pull me in because she has that attitude, that dominancy that I look for in a girl. So that's my outlook on, studs versus femmes and why, studs attract me more than femmes. But I don't know. It's really hard to say because I really don't have anything against a femme at all. Like, if I was to come across a femme, I have nothing. I'm not going to be like, oh, you're a femme, I wouldn't date you. It's nothing like that at all. I took the time to try to get to know femmes, but I've never, like I said, came across one that caught my eye as far as dating wise. So, yeah. What else can I say on this? Back to me being attracted to studs. Um, like I said, there's not really a preference that I have on studs. Like, I know Tierra, of course, likes, she likes the light skinned studs that's tatted up and has piercings and whatnot. I don't really have a preference. Studs to me are pretty much all of the studs that I've seen. I find there's something about them that attracts me to them. But then there are some that I just, that I wouldn't date just because of other reasons. But I don't really have a preference. I like light skinned studs, dark skinned studs, brown skinned studs, studs with long hair, with fades, tattoos, piercings, dreads, all of it. The only thing I would say, if I had a preference, I would prefer a stud with hair, just because I like to play in my stud's hair when I have a girl. So if you have dreads or if you have braids or ponytail or whatever, if you actually have hair for me to grab and to be able to play in, that's just something that I personally like myself. Um, but yeah, that's probably the only preference I have. But my ex girlfriend has a fade. Well, two of my ex girlfriends have a fade, and I was with one for 2.5 years, and the other one I was with her for 8 months. So it's really not too much that I go off of. I'm more of a personality person because for myself, um, I had a lot of people, especially when I was younger. They looked at my looks. Um, I've always been told, oh yeah, you have a pretty face and whatnot. But when I was younger, I was on the thicker side. I was chubby. I had a stomach, I had a belly, and I wasn't always the ideal girlfriend or whatever. So I had a lot of people that passed up that opportunity because I wasn't physically what they were attracted to, which I understand because if you're not physically attracted to someone, that can take a toll in the long run. So a lot of people, didn't talk to me for that reason. But now that I have gotten myself together, gotten into shape, and lost a lot of the weight that I used to have, um, those same people are now trying to talk to me, and I just look at it like I'm still that same person that I was, 8 years ago. That was still me. I'm just smaller now. Same attitude. Everything about me is pretty much the same. I've grown in the sense of self-esteem, but overall I'm still that same person. And I just feel like now that I've lost weight and gotten myself together, a lot of people look at that. So that's why I don't really take physical to that extreme. I would like to be physically attracted to you, but if I'm not physically attracted to you, I do still take the time out to try and know you, at least attempt to know you, because I don't want to pass up a good person just because they're not physically what I want or physically who I want to be seen with. So I don't know, but studs versus femmes, I definitely choose studs over femmes. But if I came across that femme that knew how to, capture me the way a stud does, I might date her too. So if you guys have any say so on if you're, attracted to studs or femmes or both, go ahead and leave us a comment, rate, subscribe, let us know what you think. Why you're attracted to your stud, your femme, or both. Same thing goes for any gays or whatever. Why are you attracted to who you're attracted to? Alright guys, hit us up. comment, rate, subscribe, and follow us on Twitter and let us know what you think.